Alright everyone, welcome back for part 4. In this episode we're going to be taking the stencils that we made in part 3 and actually applying them to the helmet. So for this step, you're going to make sure you want to get your pencil, get some kind of brushes to put the fluid on. I use like these clay sculpting rubber brushes. They're just a lot easier to clean off, and the fluid's going to ruin a normal brush. Get yourself some masking fluid. Doesn't really matter what kind you use. I just like this stuff because Maskel's pretty thick and it's hard to get real fine details. This stuff's a lot more, I guess, liquidy, I would say. Not as thick and yeah, not as thick. So it's just easier to get details with that stuff. That's why I like to use it. And then you're gonna want to make sure you get some trace down paper. This stuff's probably the most important thing because that's what you're gonna use to put your stencils onto your helmet, because that's all the white lines you see in my photos whenever I'm showing the stencils. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to do a few. I'm going to show you guys how you actually will put these on, and then I'll probably just time lapse the rest because I mean, once I show you to do one, it's kind of like the stencils, you kind of just know how to do everything else. One other thing that's crucial is you want to make sure that you have a lot of reference images. That's real important because without those, it's going to be hard to get the damage exactly where it needs to go. Now, since there's no paint details on these helmets, you know, you're not going to be able to get it perfect like you can on like the Empire Strikes Back /SE helmet, since we have those awesome casts that have the paint details. That makes painter's life so much easier. But as far as these, we'll just use our reference images and we're just going to get it as close as we can. But as long as you made your stencils right, everything should mostly be where it should go. The only thing that's going to be tough is like the damage on the dome. It's going to be hard to get that perfectly where it's supposed to be. So yeah, just use your reference images and just get it as close as you can. Okay, now that I'm set up, you're going to take some masking tape and you're going to take whatever stencil you're using. I'll just show you this left cheek here, and you know, you're basically going to put it on there. Take some of your tape here and you just want to tape this on roughly where it's supposed to go. Try not to cover up any stencil areas if you can help it. So once you got this where it needs to be, then you're going to take your transfer paper here, and basically all you're going to do is you're just going to hold it under the stencil. It's a lot easier if you cut your transfer paper out like the exact shape of your stencil, but I'm not really going to do that for this. So once you got that down, you should have this lined up perfect. You know, you taped it where it needs to go. You're going to take your reference image and you're just going to look at what damage you're going to need to trace, which is going to be all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Hope you can see that very well, but now that we got the rough shape of that, you can see that everything, you know, because of the transfer paper, it all went exactly where it was supposed to go. So it's perfect. Now, just because I shaped it like this doesn't mean I'm going to exactly follow that. When I actually mask everything off with the fluid, I'm going to make sure I look at images because I'm going to want to refine it a little bit more. So this is just kind of give me a base idea of where and how my damage needs to look. So for the rest of the helmet, I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, do that for everything else. You know, same with the dome. That'll be easy. I'll just line it up how it's supposed to go, trace everything, and then as far as everything else up on the top, it's gonna be a little tricky, but that's why I said just look at your reference images and you should be fine. So I believe that's all of the stenciling. Like I said, make sure you use reference images. I can already tell this area back here is going to be a pain in the ass. It's just it's so confusing back here. That's why I said just make sure you have your reference images to really help you. Because when you mask all this off, like that's when you really want to make sure everything is where it should be and it's perfect. Because if you're doing layering, you really want to try to avoid going back in topically with a brush. Because like I said before, it just sticks out like a sore thumb if you have to go back in with your brush. So when I do all this, I'm going to really make sure I'm looking at my stencils and make sure that I get everything how it should be. So that was an hour of stenciling. That was pretty rough. And then masking all of this is probably going to take even longer. But that'll be it for part 4. Just wanted to show you guys how I do that. It's pretty time consuming, but if you take your time here and take your time when you not stencil but put all your masking fluid on, it's really going to save you time in the end, because there'll hardly be anything you have to go back and fix. Other than that, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope this helped you. Don't forget, you can join the Discord. You can all chat there. Eventually we're going to do our little live chats together when we get some time. Don't know if I'm going to mask this all today. You can leave this stuff on your helmet. It's not going to, like, the longer it's on there, it's going to be there forever. So I don't know if I'm going to mask this today or not, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.